The color on this keeps getting darker and darker.
Yeah.
Darker and richer.
So to make sure that I'm correct, you're tasting the barrel proof A23?
123.
A123.
Yes.
Okay.
What does that mean?
So the first offering of 23.
That's the first batch, January of 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is C922, which is the third and final offering for the year.
Okay.
In September.
Okay.
2022.
But we don't even know what we're talking about.
We don't.
Because we haven't even started the
Well, let's get going.
Should we do this?
Let's do this.
Should we do it?
Let's
do
it. I was thinking like Tone Loc. Let's do it.
Where's your soundbite?
Yeah, I don't know. The DJ machine got turned off.
Welcome, dear listener, to the Savor the Burn podcast. My name is Jonathan. Across the table from me is Mr. W2. How do you do?
I'm still processing that we went Tone Loc.
We went Tone Loc? What's wrong with Tone Loc?
Nothing. That's my high school years.
Okay, all right.
Wild thing.
Yeah, I liked
St. Louis, North County.
I liked him in
What?
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Ace, you done gone crazy. I don't know what that came out more Michael Bergen than whatever. Anyway, so thank you, dear listener, for listening to the Savor the Burn podcast on your favorite podcast app of choice. Be sure to follow along on all our socials. Wherever you can find us, that's where we are. And tonight we have two very special guests, as you probably heard them talking. You know who they are. Timothy and Faith.
Hey, what's up?
Welcome back to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
I almost didn't. Actually, I didn't get those words right at all. Thanks for joining. Yeah. Stupid whiskey. Thanks for joining us, guys. I'm glad to have you.
You know, it's not
glad to be here.
It's not going to get any better.
Not going to get any easier, right? Because this is a higher proof. Tonight we're trying the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. W2 and I, we have batch C922, like we alluded to a little bit earlier. The straight bourbon whiskey retails for roughly $96, so it's definitely a higher price. But it's barrel proof. This is like squeezed right out of the damn barrel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not single barrel, but it's barrel proof. So if they take the batch and they dump the batch, they don't water it down. They don't do anything to it.
That is correct. It is straight from the barrel, but it is batch. So this is not a single barrel offering. This is just barrel proof.
Barrel proof
offering. My Flavier.com membership allows me to have access to their vault. And their vault, they open up just a couple times a month. And usually for like 3 or 4 days, it'll be open. And they'll have an assortment of crazy, crazy priced spirits in there. That's where you can find the Pappy 23 for like $7,000. You know, some just outrageous stuff. And which, you know, I mean, because I have a subscription, yeah, I like to scroll through and see what all these crazy. There's a lot of tequilas out there that are like $3,000 and $4,000. These like just crazy ceramic bottles or whatever. One day I was scrolling through there and I stumbled upon this Elijah Craig Barrel Proof was in the vault, and doing a little bit of research on the specific. They actually had 2 different batches available, and so I kind of did my research on the different batches, and supposedly the final batch of 2022 is a very, very highly coveted, reviewed batch. So I settled on that. It was $96. This is a 12. It doesn't say so on the bottle, but researching it and reading through their own description of it, this is a 12-year aged version. So unlike the toasted barrel or the small batch, which are no age statement, this actually carries the age statement of 12 years. Oh, and Tim is giving me the... I was getting ready to say Tim's giving me the finger, but he's not giving me the finger. He was just trying to get my attention. On the side label, it says right there in very plain English, 12-year-old non-chilled filtered.
I like that it's non-chill filtered.
And the more you know, the more you know.
The better you are.
Yeah, maybe.
And knowing's half the battle. That's where I was
That's
going.
what I was gonna say.
Knowledge is power.
But yes, like you said, this is it's 12-year. It is 124.8 proof, which is considerably up from the standard 94 proof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this should drink a little bit hotter, but like we found with some other ones, sometimes the higher proof doesn't necessarily mean it's hotter.
Right.
I'm expecting this to be more indicative flavor-wise as the original Elijah Craig was. Only this will have a true deeper flavor, because the toasted barrel was kind of gimmick is the wrong word to say, but it was a manipulation of the flavors. Like, you know what you're going to get when it comes to toasting the barrel.
Yep.
So they aged it in that for whatever necessitated amount of time to extract those specific flavors for your blend.
I did appreciate the fact that we learned that when they dump this into that toasted new barrel, it is dumped in there at full barrel proof and aged in that second barrel before it's then dumped and proofed down.
Right.
Right.
So I think that makes a huge difference also. I don't know if anyone else would do
Now,
something different than
if we
that,
got
but
at
that makes sense.
toasted barrel proof. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, now you're cooking.
Yeah.
Right. Now you're cooking with gas.
Not to get ahead of ourselves, but the nose on this does not come off as a 124 proof.
You know what? You're probably right on time. Definitely not ahead, because we do need to get into the nose of it. It looks considerably darker than the other two did.
Yeah, this is.
This I might call mahogany.
I'm gonna grab the original bottle.
All right.
So what's interesting about our tastings here is you guys have the C922 and we have the A123. So we have the next offering just after what you're drinking.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the September barrel dump, and you guys have the January.
Barrel dump.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
And ours comes in at 125.6 proof.
Okay, so you're a little hotter.
Yeah.
Slightly hotter than you guys.
And then we actually picked this up for $79, $79.99
Yeah.
Okay.
at a local store. So one time it paid to live in Tennessee.
Yeah.
We found something at a good price. So
I wonder if they dump it on the same month that they barrel it. So, like, it's a September to September, a
You mean
January
bottle
to a
it.
January.
Dump it the same month they
know.
bottle
Yeah.
it, or
When it enters the
I
barrel,
say
in
enter
a
the
September,
barrel. Gotcha.
Oh.
yeah.
well, I would
'Cause
say
that would say that
it's
yours
gotta be
has-
close.
It's got to be close to
Because-
that age statement.
The scandal on, I think it was the B323 or 523,
Yeah,
whatever the second release was of 23. They came out with an 11-year and some month, 5 month, 6 month age statement, and everybody lost their minds because they're like, "This is supposed to be 12 years." And there's rumors about how they ended up with an 11-year instead of the 12 or whatever, but now they're back to the 12-year age statement. So I think probably the distilling and entering the barrel and then the dumping, I would think they'd track that pretty closely to figure out.
Those distillers are very keen on the flavor profile. So, like, if it's done, you need to pull it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
need to
that's
bottle
true.
it.
Yeah.
I've
It's
only
like baking a cake.
I've only encountered Booker's. When you look at the age statement on a Booker's, it gives you the year, month, and day.
Yeah.
On there. Like the one we had was it 7 year, 2 months, and 3 days.
Yeah.
So specific.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I haven't come across any others that are that specific on there. But you're right. They track this stuff very, very to the T.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
that just makes me think that you guys with your January bottle, makes me think it's had more winters, and this would have more summers. Is what I'm getting at. That's why
That's a great
That's
point.
why I'm wondering. With more summers is more heat, depending on the rick house. From what I've seen on the rick house, you know, the hotter they are, more frequently they are, the more that barrel's gonna. The more that spirit is going to extract the flavors. And I've cut you off twice now, Faith. What were you saying?
No, that's okay. I was just going to say, for those that aren't aware, prior to the B release of the barrel proof Elijah Craig, it was at minimum a 12-year. So that's where the controversy came in, where B came in under that 12-year, and everyone, like, it broke the internet. People were so upset that it was under that 12-year. So then they came out with the C923, and it was a 13 something.
Oh, weird.
So it's
making up the time.
It's going to be interesting to see these. I'm curious about the ABC for 24 to see what the age statements are going to be, what the prices are going to be, and what those flavor profiles are going to be. So
that kind of makes me wonder if the people at Elijah Craig are anything like the people at Buffalo Trace, because I've been watching some of their little documentary snippets. They're like 15-minute videos on their YouTube channel, and it seems like they have a sense of humor, and that sense of humor leads them to fuck with people, and they'll just do random shit just because it's their business and they're going to do what they want. Because in the end, they're whiskey makers.
Hey.
Right.
Watch this.
Yeah.
Let's take it out of the barrel 2 months early.
Yeah. And just
hold
watch
my
people.
Bourbon.
Hold my bourbon. I'm gonna.
There's that, but there's also the amount of data nowadays is unbelievable. And you think 12 years is like ancient history, but that was 2012. There were databases, there was RFID tags, they were tracking things. So if they dumped a barrel and then scanned it and went, oh shit, that was 11 years and 4 months, we can't put 12 years on this bottle.
Yep.
So I mean, it speaks to the truth of the thing.
Above all, they're going to tell you the truth.
I mean, also good on them for owning that, because I feel like they very well could have just been like, let's make this 12, then no one has to know.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody would. Everybody would have known because somebody would have told.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, it's whiskey, and drink what you like and drink it how you like it, and don't be so serious about it.
Right.
So they probably early on, the whiskey makers and runners, they were hiding from the feds, and they were, doing all the illegal things, but they were being very matter of fact, very truthful of it, unless of course they were running into cops or feds.
Hey guys, I'm over here loving this nose.
Yeah, let's get on the nose here. What's everybody getting on the nose?
This nose is so fantastic. It's not hot at all. It is not 124 proof hot. There's caramel for days.
And I'm picking up on the note.
There's some fruit.
The oak notes.
There's some oak in there.
Like you said, fruit, like dried fruit.
Yeah. There's
like apple.
There's a little bit of citrus with that.
Yeah, this might be the first time apple actually registered on the nose.
This is absolutely wonderful.
With ours, I'm getting kind of like caramel corn and syrup. Like it's really syrupy.
Sweet, sticky caramel corn.
Yes.
Sweet, sticky caramel corn. Yeah.
And it's not offensive, but I'm getting a little ethanol.
I am too.
A little bit.
More so than our toasted barrel or small batch, but
well, W2
my nose hairs. So.
W2's olfactory glands have been so singed with high proof.
Well, especially after that
top shelf bourbons,
that Jack Daniel's single barrel.
That was some hot shit.
That was 133.6 proof.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good.
It's not from all the pyro that you guys have on stage.
We don't have any pyro.
We need
except for up on a big screen behind us. I would love pyro.
I'm gonna skip
dancing girls.
In cages.
Red devil chick. Nah, I don't want to cage them. No. I like my women to be free and evil.
Free.
Evil and free. Red devil chicks and go-go boots.
Free.
I tell you what, I've to get to the Rocktails side of the things that we haven't touched on yet. I've played some of those shows with pyro and dancing girls on stage, and it is an experience. It's one of those where, like, I zoned out. So it's a good thing I knew what I was playing, because there's flames going in front of me, or dancers in front of me, or swords going in front of me. So it's like I was a member of the audience at that point. I had a guitar, but I was watching the show that was going on.
Yeah.
Like,
I get pretty easily distracted.
I don't know what I was playing, but
naked girls like
I'd
up like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
yeah, I mean, we played a ton of burlesque
I'd be
shows, so you never knew what was going to show up.
I wouldn't know
like
what verse I'm in. Like, I'd be singing the chorus over the intro. Like,
So fortunately, the band I was in was all instrumental, so you didn't have to worry about coming in with lyrics, and our stuff was kind of our own thing anyway. So nobody knew if we were playing the right thing. I get pretty distracted
at the end of Summer Bash in Cherryvale. We've talked about him before. Old fucking Whistler. Like this dude, like if you've seen the videos, the one video that we had, what was it? Was it Concave Pulse, or was it?
No, it was
Kepra.
Kepra.
Okay, so Kepra, if you can find it on the Burn the Gates YouTube channel, you can find it. Just click videos and scroll down. You'll hear this dude whistling, and he's louder than the band.
And he's shirtless and is nothing but a piece of jerky.
Yeah, he looks like beef jerky. This dude,
but he was
cool.
Before we hit the stage, he came over to the merch table and he was already just drunk out of his mind. And he came over and he's like, "When you guys go on?" And so I'm telling him, like, "Hey, we're not this band, but we're the next band up." And he's like, "All right." And I'm like, "You better be down front." He's like, "Oh, I'll be down front and I'm gonna whistle and you're gonna know it's me." I wish I would not have said anything to this guy because he stood, he whistled so loud
right in front of you.
It was louder than all of our monitors.
Oh my God!
The video that was shot from the soundboard, you hear him up and over everything else.
Wow.
But the whistle that he had on my pedal board, I've got a bass synth pedal that I've got it dialed in to where it kind of has this very spacey kind of a sound.
Nice.
Yeah.
More than, I think, like 3 different times during our set, he's whistling, and my mind is going, "Oh shit, I accidentally turned my bass synth pedal on." And so I stop, like, in the moment, I just kind of stop and about face and go back to my pedal board to turn off this pedal, and it's not on. And I'm like, shit, it's the whistle dude out front.
Wow.
And then another time I got distracted. We were probably doing Concave Pulse, and it was at the that show Farm Bash. What was it?
Metal Stock.
Metal Stock. God, I always get that
Farm
so
Bash.
wrong. Yeah, it was a barn burner show.
That's a Raytown shit.
Raytown as fuck. But yeah, it was good. But there was this guy dressed up as a traffic cone. And he was like he didn't, like, you couldn't really see what the face was or what he was about to do or thinking or whatever, but like he was like clearly fucking drunk, and he was like running into people, like not mosh pit style, because it was late by the time we went on. People were kind of tuckered out and still had 3 hours to go after us, but this guy was just fucking nuts. So like he was clearly pissing people off. So like I get my arm around him and I'm like locking him, holding him still, kind of like, "Fuck yeah, bro, we're cool," and trying to sing the song. And I realized afterwards when I watched the playback on the video that I completely tooled the second verse. I was like, I have no idea how I locked back into it eventually and got on the chorus at the right time. But I have a tendency to get distracted.
Yeah,
I really do, and it sucks.
Yeah, I do too. Like
it's a character flaw.
Handful of videos or photos that I've seen of myself playing, I'm like staring at the ceiling or at like a TV over here or at somebody over there. I'm doing anything but look at the crowd in front of me.
Yeah. And me, I have to look at the crowd because I gauge like the temperature of the room that way. Yeah. And if they're not having a good time, I kind of take offense to it, and I get even madder and I get aggressive. I'm like, "Get your fucking horns in the air now!" And then they do, and then I'm okay. As long as I get my way, I don't throw a little tantrum. I'm trying to be mad at Dad. Leave me alone. So back to the bourbon.
Back to the bourbon.
We've talked a lot about what we got on the nose, and I'm ready to get it on the palate.
So real quick, well, I just want to read a little bit of this because it actually has the mash bill breakdown in it.
Oh, that'd be good info.
The Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Batch C922 is the final high proof release in 2022 series. Striking a balance between earthy and spicy notes, it offers a sweeter, oakier taste with a hint of spice. At 124.8 proof, it has a pleasant heat. Part of the ongoing barrel proof series, this 12-year-old bourbon with a mash bill of 78% corn, 12% malted barley, and 10% rye is a unique delight and great hat trick addition to the 2022 series.
So there's no wheat. It's not a 4-grain.
No wheat. 78% corn. That's a lot of corn.
It is.
Yeah.
Definitely makes it a bourbon.
I wonder if this mash bill is indicative to all their
I think it
their
is.
releases.
I
Like,
think
this is
that's
what
the
they
same
do.
natural for across the board because it's the same for what the last two we just tried.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Was that in our notes
No.
with the other two?
Nope.
I think Faith had her own notes.
Okay,
Let's get this on the palate.
let's do it.
Yeah,
That's got some heat, but man.
it does. I have really chapped lips, so it's stinging my lips, but
I mean, that's sweet. That's got a spice to it. There's a little bit of heat, but that finish just falls right off. The finish is not long at all.
I don't know. I'm still dealing with the finish. For me, it's long and tapering. It's like
Lingered.
everything that was on the nose, and especially on the palate. It's slowly
There's so much vanilla and caramel.
vanilla caramel explosion.
Charred oak.
The oak is definitely more present here than it was on the original or on the toasted barrel.
Is that maybe a little bit more butterscotch?
Is that what the sweetness is? It's not caramel or toffee. It's butterscotch.
Maybe.
I haven't had a Werther's original in a while, so I'm not sure. I need to hang out with old people that have them.
Just start reaching into old men's pockets, you know.
Ho!
I
Is that a Werther's original in your pocket, or you happen to see me? Get your hand out of my pocket.
And I don't mean this in an offensive way, but I almost have like a Listerine note on the palate. Like there's something that I'm getting that's weird.
Might be me.
I don't like that. I don't get that at all. I'm
I'm definitely not getting that on this one.
no.
I get the alcohol on the tongue as I roll it around the mouth. You know, it's tingly. It's a little hot in the throat, but it's easy to drink. I get all those other flavors that you guys are talking about, the butterscotch and everything, but there's just there's a flavor I can't pinpoint.
The finish on ours is like raisin. You know those chocolate covered caramel
I remember
raisin.
those. Yeah,
That's what I feel like I'm chewing on one of those.
yeah. So raisins popped into my head, and then from there it was the raisin bran. Like you get raisin bran.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
It kind of it gives me some of that. It's a cereal spice kind of thing. Like it's got some cinnamon and toffee or butterscotch, like you were saying on the finish and in the palate.
I'm getting
I
some
get
cinnamon.
Golden Graham cereal. Golden Graham.
Golden Grams.
And
Golden
I
Graham.
haven't had those in forever.
I love Golden Grams. That's probably my favorite cereal.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Golden Grams.
How do you feel about grape nuts?
I like grape nuts.
I did
What
too.
is
Like
wrong
if you let
with
them
you?
sit there and soak up for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
They weren't so assaulting on your
You got to drown them
teeth.
in milk.
yeah.
It's like eating pebbles.
Yeah, but you soak them and they soften a
yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
Then they're like crunchy, like Cocoa Pebbles or Fruity Pebbles. I still think Cocoa Pebbles or Fruity Pebbles is probably my favorite.
Agree. Count Chocula.
Count Chocula.
Count Chocula ranks up there for me.
I think right now I'm going with honeycomb.
Well,
Honeycomb's good
yeah.
cereal.
Honeycomb.
Henry's all about his Lucky Charms. He
Ooh.
loves
Yeah.
Lucky Charms.
When I was a
You
kid,
can't go wrong.
I didn't really fuck with Lucky Charms too much because of the like the cat food shaped pieces in there. I was like, these are fucking terrible. They taste like cardboard, and they still do. But I was all about those marshmallows. I'd
mean,
eat those first and just kind of
They make a marshmallow only box.
Yeah, they do now.
Now,
But back in
Growing up-
1992, we didn't have that shit.
We grew up really poor, so we didn't have like Lucky Charms. We had
had
the
the
Malto meal,
we had the Aldi brands.
Marshmallow Maties.
marshmallow mateys.
Marshmallow Maties
It
in the
was in the
bag.
bag.
If there were houses in my neighborhood that had a doggy door, chances are they had cereal. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. So anybody listening, if you have a doggy door and for whatever reason you lock your dog up in cages when you leave the house, there might be a
sense does
fat
that
kid
make?
squeezing his way through the back door, raiding your kitchen.
Hey, your
Also,
time
don't-
of that
also,
might
don't
be
leave-
short-lived. I was telling Faith, I was reading about this AI-powered cat door, dog door.
Yeah.
So you feed the AI images of your cat or dog, and the door has cameras on it. So as your pet walks up, it goes, that dog's supposed to be in here, and it unlocks the door and lets your pet in.
Okay.
If it's not your pet, if it's a raccoon or skunk or whatever else, the AI is like, I don't recognize this as the correct pet, keeps the door locked.
Okay, so do these people with this AI-enabled cat door or doggy door, do they also post pictures of their beloved pets online?
Well,
So
I don't
people
know,
like
but,
me might print them out and hold them in front of their stupid little doggy doors?
and then just crawl really fast.
Yup. Fat boy's got a feed. Not that I ever did that.
Oh my
also, don't leave your loaded or unloaded Uzis underneath the master bedroom bed.
I feel like there's a story there that we can.
And
So that
it's
was
not a
from-
rocktail
Well, I
in
was gonna say,
Grandview back in like 91. So, we're going to leave it at that.
91. How
Yeah.
young are you?
I was
like
11.
Glocktail.
This is a Glock tail.
Oh, nice.
Right. Good times.
Dear listeners,
you're. It only took 3 sips before we went off the rails. We were good on the first one.
We're doing good. We're doing
I blame the whiskey.
Yeah, what is that?
Blame it on the
There's a
alcohol.
flavor that I can't pinpoint.
Is it medicinal? Is it cereal? Like
No, it's medicinal.
I've come to find that when people say that there's cereal on the palate or the nose or finish, they're not meaning like Cocoa Puffs, like a fat kid would think. They're talking like oatmeal or
Right,
cream of
like the
wheat,
cream. Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's like a medicinal taste for me. It's not mint. It's not that. I don't know what it is. It's not ginger. I'm sticking by my original Listerine
Wow.
because I don't know what else to call it.
So which is it? Is it the minty one, the blue one, the cool mint?
No,
It's
the original yellow.
Yellow?
The OG yellow. Yeah.
Wow.
But you like it?
Yeah.
In this, it works somehow. All right.
Yeah. Like my dentist may not agree, but have you been flossing and using mouthwash? Well, I've been drinking barrel-proof bourbon. Does that count?
Maybe that's why I've gone to the dentist like over the last 2 years, and I've got like no cavities ever. Like, and the girl, bless her heart, she's like, hey, we're gonna do a full scan of X-rays on you because we haven't done that in like 4 years or whatever. We just want to see if everything's still good, which is code for. This is so we can try to make money off of you because we made a lot of money off of you in the beginning. Because when I first got with Jennifer, she took one look at my teeth and she said, "You're going to start going to the dentist." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it costs a bunch of money, and it always hurts so bad." And so she won. And I go to the dentist, and they scrape off all the things that they always scrape off in the regular cleanings. And my teeth don't feel like they're mine. They feel like they're less than. They're like. They feel like they're just like bony sticks sticking out of my mouth. I know you're trying to eat your chocolate in peace, and I'm ruining it. But
No, you're not ruining anything.
but anybody
Keep going,
listening to
I'm
this
intrigued.
could probably relate if they go to their dentist for their every 6 month cleaning or whatever and checkup. So when they're done scraping all this, holy smokes, are these no bake cookies made out of cocoa pebbles? What is this? Chocolate covered
Get out of
cornflakes.
here.
What kind of? Thank you, sir. What kind of sweets do you guys have? Oh, you've already told me you've got your little cups, your chocolate cups.
I just have chocolate cups. I don't have anything fancy like that.
It's all right. It's all right. Well, you don't.
Wait, what? Wait.
You don't have a Miss Katie in your house, so
That looks pretty fancy to me.
it really does look fancy.
It's got a gold foil on it.
It does.
Exactly.
Yeah, Tim's on our side. He'll regret that
Right.
later, but he's
Go put one of those cherries in there and spray some whipped cream on it. It'd be really fancy then.
Okay.
maybe save that for after the show. Holy smokes, guys! What are you doing? Family show. But yeah, anyway, yeah, she does she hit me with 15, 16 short doses of radiation to x-ray my entire grill, and lo and behold, there was no cavities once again. So so far so good. 2 years cavity free. The problem is I have problems with the nerves or whatever going crazy. So
Sure.
I'll have to go in and get root canals, and then they'll have to drill a lot to get to it, and then I have to get a crown, and it's all expensive.
Yeah.
Last year I paid $1,400, I think it was, a one tooth back up here. It was a hot tooth, and I felt like slapping the shit out of anybody that looked at me wrong.
But no cavities, just
No cavities, just
I can't believe you didn't. I have so
Angry
many
nerves?
cavities.
angry nerves. It was an
I-
old feeling,
Angry nerve.
old.
I do have an angry nerve.
And the crowns and the expensive dental visits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just went to the dentist last week, 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I need to have a crown, and it's like $600, 600 and something dollars. Like what the?
And
I'm not
why?
sure how we got on teeth, but
I think it's
you
my
know.
fault. I'm a weapon of mass
No,
distraction.
it was me with the
Listerine.
Listerine.
Oh, Listerine.
Listerine.
Yeah, I was gonna go the Bush direction of Listerine.
Yeah, you guys have the same tone.
Listerine.
Oh, let's go.
Glycerin.
Listerine.
Listerine. Gavin Rosdale.
Tim, Listerine. Listerine. I get it.
Listerine.
So are you?
I brush my teeth. I floss them too. I wash my mouth with Listerine.
Oh God.
Don't let your mouth go dry. Listerine.
Don't let your mouth grow dry. Listerine.
That's why they never let me sing, because it sounds like that.
Yeah, you gotta really drag it out and
Yeah.
hurt your voice by the end of the night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, grunge.
This pairs very well with these chocolate
The
covered
90s were so great.
cornflakes.
Is this barrel proof? Is this pairing well with your chocolate?
Oh God, yeah.
Yes.
W2 would concur.
Yes, sir. Would it pair better with a little cool whip?
Cool whip.
Yeah. Whip. Man.
Only time will tell. You still got some in your bottle, don't you?
Oh yeah.
So you could definitely you can test that theory later for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, W2. What'd you get on the nose?
I'm up to a 4 3/4.
Really? How about Faith?
Twinsies.
Wow. All right,
I'll drink to that.
Mr. Tim.
I am at the 3.5. Better than average, but
Didn't wow you. Didn't really stand
yeah,
out.
What wasn't the toasted? Yeah.
I gave it a 4.5. So I was definitely happy with it. And on the palate, I gave it a 4 3/4. How about you, Mr. W2?
Thanks for that.
You're welcome, Mr. Chomps a lot.
I gave it 4.5.
I like it. How about you, Miss Faith?
4 1/4.
I would, you know what? I would ask the two of you when you're both eating. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking down here at my notepad, going, JHW2 Faith Tim, like going across the board here, and not paying attention to who's eating what and when.
Well,
But
we were talking about getting distracted easily. I get distracted with snacks. So,
I like it.
sorry.
What did you give it?
4 1/4.
Very cool, Mr. Tim.
I went with the 3.
A 3. Wow. Okay.
Wow. Golly.
All right. I can respect that. What did you give it on the finish?
Wait, what'd you give it?
I thought
Or on the palate?
on the palate. I thought I said 4 3/4.
Okay.
And sorry if I didn't. I gave it a 4 3/4.
Excellent.
Mr. Tim, what did you give it on the finish?
Hold your seat.
2.5.
Holy smokes!
And we ran into an issue last night where we were drinking Larceny, which is it's the weeder version of the Elijah Craig, but I think it came down to glassware, where mine tasted different than Fate's, and we poured it out of the same bottle at the same time. So we have the same glassware, but I don't know if something got washed differently or what. But the finish, it's medicinal. It's that Listerine, the old G yellow. Wow. It's not the proof. Like, I don't mind the proof. The proof's fine, but there's something that it's not hitting right tonight for me.
Do you want to try that on my glass?
When you said something about the it might have been washed differently, I tried to do a pour of Angel's Envy Rye a couple weeks ago out of my Glencairn, my little whiskey glass that I had recently washed in my dishwasher with the Cascade Platinum pods. And for whatever reason, you take them out of the dishwasher, they smell like clean dishes. Probably because we're trained to think if it smells like the detergent, it's clean.
Right.
Well, for whatever reason, my Sugar Creek DNA, it didn't click that if it smells like one thing, it's not going to smell like the thing that you put into it.
Right.
So it tasted like a soapy, nasty fucking version of this incredible whiskey.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the hell's going on? It took me a couple sips to figure it out. So I had to dump it out and then rinse out the glass and then dry it with a towel and make sure all the towel fuzz was gone.
Yep.
And then I poured it again and it was fantastic as usual. That's my long story longer. Miss Faith, what did you give it on the finish?
5.
A perfect 5. A perfect score.
5. Twin?
No, my finish was 4.25.
Oh,
4.25.
I was excited for you.
So excited
that
that she found her 5. That she found her 5 on the finish.
Yeah.
My brother is my champion.
Yeah.
I got you.
I gave it a 4.75. So I rated under Faith and over Tim and W2. On the bottle presentation, I kept it the same as the original, and the same as the toasted. It's essentially the same damn thing with the addition of the neck collar and the color on the label changes as it should.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it much, but the toasted barrel underneath the Elijah Craig.
Yeah,
says toasted barrel. This one under the Elijah Craig says barrel proof, and the label darker color. Mm-hmm. Coincidentally darker because the color of the contents are darker. Maybe or maybe not. Maybe that's deliberate.
I don't know. I really do like seeing that the contents, the spirit itself has
if
gotten
their
darker.
Design team are whiskey fans and pay attention to that product, then I want to believe their designers are in tune, and it's the darker blue for barrel proof because it is a darker amber bourbon. And yeah, the matching color for the neck label says barrel proof, trimmed in gold. It's great. I left it the same though.
Yeah. For me, it's not going to dip below 4. It's a really good. It's got
mine's 3 3/4.
Looking at it again, all 3 have the same kind of reddish, like cherry wood, or I think is what we were calling it. Topper, cork.
Did you just freeze?
Yeah, I did. I'm like, it's got a cork, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right. Because like they have composite stopper. Okay.
Stopper.
Okay.
Topper.
So the topper looks, it's the same across the board, like the reddish wood, kind of cherry wood, whatever. It's got
Shut them down, open up shop.
I don't know what they're doing. Whiskey fueled over
Chandler
there.
would get it.
Yeah.
Over there in Tennessee. But the over there in Tennessee, I don't know. What are we calling it? It was the Paris of the
Tennessee.
I think Knox Vegas.
Knox Vegas. Over there in Knox Vegas.
Yep.
So it's got the natural cork stopper in there. It's good. I like it. So it's never going to drop below a 4.0 for me on these guys.
I have a question. Do you think that's handwritten or is that printed to look handwritten?
Specifically
actually,
the proof, the alcohol, the batch number. Yeah.
I don't want to lick my thumb and smudge it because
You don't want to lose your magic.
It's printed.
Your
I think
wizard
it's
fingers.
printed, but
I think it is printed because they're
it
gonna
doesn't shine differently.
when they dump the batch.
Right.
Even just beyond the single barrel, when they dump the batch, they're going to know what the batch is.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
So I completely agree. It is meant to look handwritten, but that is definitely printed.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about.
I did stick with the 4, like the other 2
It
bottles.
looks handwritten.
I would maybe be swayed to go slightly higher because it does give the age statement on the side. The others don't.
Yep.
And it does have that
that's
extra
fair.
handwritten type.
Yeah. I think that's fair. You know, and I will say, too, that you and I, we both have other bottles in our collection that are definitely handwritten, but
Yes.
they're also from distilleries that are much smaller production.
Yeah.
Elijah
Yeah.
Craig is not a small production.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
a small batch by any means. Their batch is going to be pretty sizable.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
with that said, though, because they are at the size that they are, it makes sense for them to print a handwritten looking
Totally.
label than actually having someone going.
Totally. Yeah. And I wouldn't fault them for that
Yeah.
at all. But it looks nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks it. Yeah, I would not fault them at all for that. It looks handwritten. I would not think twice about it being handwritten.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Could you imagine the cramp in your
Oh my
hand
God.
if you had to write that on?
I'd
all
have
of
to have
the
surgery all over again.
Now, my inner Tom Sawyer
wizard fingers.
The arthritis.
my inner Tom Sawyer would delegate the shit out of that task.
You would choose free will.
No,
what was everybody's
damn it,
overall?
no. You're going to be hard pressed to find me ever referencing Rush. Ever. I'm just not a fan. I respect their work. I respect what they've done. They're, for all intents and purposes,
Tom Sawyer.
they're a great band. I mean, they've really they've done great things, right? Maybe it's the Canada thing. I don't know. I just want to. I don't know. I feel like we should have invaded and taken over Canada by now, but I don't know. Whatever.
I think Canada should take over us.
Why?
But that's for another.
Because they're all nice and polite. Give us your. They're not even a real country. They're like 3 providences. Like, let's just take it over and be done with it. Who cares if France get mad? What's
podcast.
France gonna do? They get all pissed off. They're like, "Oh, you took our country." No, we didn't. It was our country always. It's over here. We're taking it. It's ours. Ha ha. No, that'd be actually. I think France. Their military has stepped it up quite a few notches since the World War II. The white flag kind of connotation that people have with France. Like, they're a ferocious. They're quite a they're a contender, I think, on the world stage. Anyway,
But to circle back to earlier, though, without the Canadian whiskey, you don't have that blacktooth grin, and without the blacktooth grin, where's metal at? So I mean,
metal would have probably
you
reverted.
got to kind of have Canada around.
It probably would have reverted to something more, I don't know, sane. Because Dime was a little bit on the insane side from what I've
Sure.
seen. He's a little bit fucking crazy. But, he made an iconic cocktail, though.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
if Dime said to use Canadian whiskey, we're going to use Canadian whiskey. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would have delegated the shit out of that task, writing all the little numbers in the small script. I don't blame them for, loading that handwriting into the computer and
No,
hitting
not at
print
all.
on the labels.
Yeah.
And yeah, I
No.
don't fault them for that at all. So that's why I kept it at a 4.0 on the bottle presentation.
Yeah.
How about you, W2?
Oh, I was still at a 3.75.
All right, keeping it consistent. Miss Faith,
I kept it at a 4.
4.0. I like it. Mr. Tim,
I kept the 4.0 also.
very cool. Very cool. What was your final score?
My overall was 6.5, which is the lowest of the evening.
Yeah, no kidding. That's
Wow,
you know what? And there's nothing wrong with it. It's your score. You know?
Right. Yeah. So like better than average, but not great. I would.
It's
use
a point and a half.
before I come back to this.
It's a point and a half better than average.
Yeah.
Because the final score is a 0 to 10. Because we take all of our scores, the 1 to 5s, and we add them up, and then we divide by 2, and that's how we get our final score. So, Miss Faith, what did you give on your final?
I gave it a 9. This was my winner of the night.
Okay. All right. Mr. W2?
I came in at 8.625, 8 and 5/8, which was also my winner of the night. I went from 8 to 8 1/4 to 8 and 5/8.
Very cool. Very cool. Mine was a 9.0. Just like Miss Faith. So this was very good. For me, it ranked the same as the Toasted Barrel, but I mean, since we're going to compare, it ranked the same as the Toasted Barrel, but for a different reason.
Okay.
Sure.
Because they're not night and day difference, but like they're in the same.
Different.
They're within the same couple weeks of the same season to me.
Yeah.
If you go by the night and day, whatever. You know.
So what were your final notes on?
I just realized that I hadn't finished them.
Oh.
What do you guys have any final thoughts on this?
I love it. Tim apparently not so much, but
My final thoughts goes back to what I always go back to. The value wasn't there for me. And it may have just been the evening. It may have just been the glassware or whatever. But for me, the value wasn't there. I wouldn't pay the $80 or $90 for it over the Toasted. The Toasted was amazing. I'd buy a bottle of the Toasted and a bottle of the small batch and drink both of those before I got another bottle of the Barrel Proof. But that was just me and just tonight. It might be different with a different batch. So if I get a chance to try yours, I'd really be interested to try it.
And when it comes to the Barrel Proof, what I have started to learn and figure out is that batch actually makes a big difference. Just like with single barrel,
Right.
the barrel is everything, and so
Totally.
and everyone loves to crap all over the Blanton's mystique and the hype and all that, but it is the original single barrel. Every single bottle is from a single barrel. It is not batched. It is not blended to taste. It is a single barrel. And so to me, and what I have latched onto and what I love about finding every bottle of Blanton's I can is that I know that the core is going to be the same. The core things I love about Blanton's are going to be across the board, but all the little nuances are going to be all over the place, and every bottle is going to be slightly different.
What you just popped a bottle top? What'd you pop over there, Miss Faith?
It didn't pop on this side.
It's the Barrel Proof still, but it's
Barrel
going to be
Proof?
in her glass. I'm going to try it in her glass to see if I get the same.
Aren't they the same?
I like
glasses?
how she swirled it. So
You got to give it the old SJ.
the old
That was a
swirl
professional
job.
swirl.
yeah, she didn't even look.
No,
she
she
just
was
like the no look hook in basketball.
This
She
is my
just
first
did that
rodeo,
past
y'all.
My
Right.
bourbon would have been like
Right on the wall.
in your face,
in
the
my-
wall,
yeah.
the floor.
So,
Been like
but
a
the
$2
the last
whore on
thing
nickel
I'll talk
night.
about this Barrel Proof about is so we paid $79.99, and I think for a 12-year-old bourbon at $80, I'm not mad at that. Like for that age to have sat just sitting, not doing anything
True story.
for 12 years, I'll spend $80 on that.
What was
12
that, like
years is
$7
a
a
good
year?
year.
Yeah. 12 years, you
$7
pretty
a
much
year.
got everything out of the barrel that you really want. You go further than that, like with the 15 years, it doesn't add anything. For me, the 15-year mark doesn't add anything to a whiskey or a scotch, bourbon, whatever, anything extra that would warrant the extra cost that a 12-year would.
Yeah.
And we probably talked about it before, but the Glenfiddich is my case and point.
I still have not. I don't think
12 versus 15.
I don't think I've had any of the Glenfiddichs.
None of them?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I need to.
If I remember right, you know what, prices do vary over time because inflation. But it was like $40 for the Glenfiddich 12 and the
I've had
and
the
like
Macallan
maybe
and the
55, 60
Glenlivets.
for the Glenfiddich 15, and it just didn't seem like it was good. By comparison, it might have been a little bit better from what I remember. It's been years, but it wasn't worth the extra, $15-20. But as far as this Elijah Craig barrel proof C922, and what was yours?
A123.
A123 straight bourbon whiskey. We all, well, except for Tim, pretty much agree that this is damn near a 9.0 on the bourbon scale. And I wrote down here, barrel-proof bourbons such as this one will give you every tasting note you'd expect to find with the original release, only with a heightened flavor profiles across the board. Hit or miss, like it or love it, you might give this a try with your high-proof bourbon enthusiasts.
I like it.
You just had to get that out there, didn't you? Because you didn't want to fuck up and give me 15 words. You wanted to... You guys have any closing thoughts on this? Tim, is this a little bit different from her glass than it is yours?
It really is. And I don't know if it's my palate's adjusted now or what, but her glass does have a different taste than what my glass did.
Because I'm sweeter.
It is. That's probably what it is.
Aww.
But it's not burnt rubber. I don't know that it's listerine. But there's a note that I can't identify that's not my jam. But drink what you like. That's my final note. Drink what you like.
Drink what you like. Yeah. I would wholeheartedly agree with that.
I like that.
If you don't like it, that's fine. I don't fuck with strawberries. So a lot of people do. The majority of the human race does. And you know what? More for them. You're not going to find me squandering strawberries in my backyard. No, absolutely not. Blackberries? Yeah. You're probably, I'm going to kung fu the shit out of you for my blackberries. Don't go near my blackberry bushes. Or blueberries, for that matter.
That blackberry smash we did with the Ghostwood.
Oh, man. It's like a sore dick. Can't beat it.
Can't beat it.
So good. Family show, sorry.
I mean, you could.
I can't believe I spewed that nastiness in front of your sister. Goodness. I hang my head in shame. Like she's never heard anything worse or anything awful. She's been married for 21 years. She's probably heard enough. She's heard it all.
This guy.
Yeah,
Almost 21 years.
Almost.
Yeah.
Good times. Well, dear listener, if you have any thoughts on the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof series, whether it be A123 or C922 or anything, any of them, if you've tried any of them and you like them, drop us a line in our email. Tell us what you think of it. You can hit us up, info@savortheburn.com, or w2@savortheburn.com, or me, Jonathan, at savortheburn.com, or you can just leave us a comment under any of our social posts. When these episodes and these posts drop, feel free to let us know what you think. As long as you're not some hypercritical boat anchor, Tim, you can definitely let us know what you think. I kid. But actually, we would like to hear some negatives from time to time, because it seems like we've had nothing but yes men. We're surrounded by yes men, except when it comes to these group posts. Like today, I don't know why anybody would rate the Toasted Barrel last, and I'm pretty sure Tim would agree with me on that. Like, I would put it above the original and probably above the barrel proof, but that is not what W2 or Faith would do. So,
right.
Yeah, I would definitely put the Toasted above the barrel proof and the original single.
Yeah, if I had my druthers, I'd rather have the Toasted Barrel. But even though I rated them both at 9.0s, so they're both the same rating, but it's for different reasons. It's like when your kids can't understand, you guys might not get it, but actually you might. And when your kids can't understand why the parents will say, "I love you both," but for different reasons, like I can't pick a favorite. I love you both. I love you both the same. You're like, there's no way. There's no way. Well, there is a way. It's because you love them for different reasons.
Right.
However, you get to your 10 rating of your kids is really just kind of personal preference. And personal preference for me was a split between the barrel proof and the Toasted Barrel. Mm-hmm. But definitely keep listening to us on your favorite podcast app of choice. Including but not limited to Spotify, Audible, Samsung, Apple Music, Audible. It's on Audible. I forgot about that one for a while. But no matter what it is, thank you for listening to us. We always appreciate it. And if you are listening to Spotify, you don't have to just drop us an email or a comment somewhere. You can actually leave us a voicemail. Click it and follow the instructions, and by golly, we will probably use it as content on an upcoming episode. Just like we did with Carlo. Remember him? He called us up, and he's like, "You motherfuckers." Carlo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Carlo.
it's like talking shit on my Sex
My
in a Canoe
mother's
beer.
milk.
Mother's milk. Yeah, he loves his Miller Lite. Mother's milk, as he calls it. Anyway, thank you for listening. And always remember, no matter who you are, where you are, what you're drinking, who you're drinking it with, never forget, dear listener, to keep on
Keep on
learning.